Is this a game changer? Wasserman Boxing and Channel 5 join forces. So this will be free to air boxing in the UK. Sponsors will be Infinitum Entertainment and William Hill, the bookmaker. So obviously Wasserman Boxing is being ran by the Salem brothers, Kelly and Nice. So they're proposing that we get to see the likes of Josh Kelly, hoping to rebuild his career after being destroyed by David Avanesian, Nathan Gorman, Harlem Eubank, and they've got Linus Udofia. I'd say that's obviously a step up above what Mick Hennessey was producing on Channel 5 up till recently. What happens to Mick? Does he lose his contract, or is it just going to be exclusively Wasserman? If so, where does Mick Hennessey go? I don't know. I think the McKenna brothers, they're still undefeated. They're very aggressive. They'll be picked up. I don't know if Shakan Pitters has a long-term contract with Mick. He'll get picked up. I don't think Mick's son is going to get a major contract. I just don't believe he will. Or maybe they'll all just stay with Mick and just struggle along and see where Mick heads off to next. Who else is there? River Wilson Bent. Is he the English champion? He might get a deal if Mick's got to let them go. So apparently people are sleeping on the numbers that Channel 5 Boxing does. It actually does pretty good numbers. They didn't give us an average, but it does do good numbers. I don't know the ins and outs, obviously, but the likes of Chris Eubank Jr., well, isn't he contracted with Sky? They say we might see him on Channel 5, but he is contracted with Sky. So, and what about the other fighters who have been contracted with Sky, who are promoted by Wasserman? Looks like it'll be a notch up above the level of Mick Hennessey. Not the same Mick was doing the worst cards. There was good fights on there, like Spider Richards versus Shakan Pitters. There were good fights. Wow. 2011, it was actually Mick Hennessey who put the first card on Channel 5, and that was Chisora versus Fury. And that was a very good fight. Very good start for Channel 5 Boxing, you know. And didn't he stage Eubank versus Blackwell? He's had a few good fights on there. But yeah, who else has he got on his roster right now? The three Irish youths, what's the name? Stevie McKenna and his brothers. But some of Mick's fighters, if you research the records of their opponents, I'm not going to mention names and put them out there, they were fighting opponents with horrible records. Dreadful. But Kelly and Nice's stable is more vast, and they're looking to obviously add to the roster, add to the quality. And free-to-air boxing, not just in the UK, but anywhere, is why boxing is such a massive sport that it is. Channel 5 also have a lot of spin-off channels. Not as much as Sky, but enough. They've got about 6 or 7, so you can always advertise on there when shows are coming up. And they've got My 5 Live, the catch-up channel. See, that's why, you know, it was a bit premature with all that pay-per-view was dead talk. The old methods of accessing content are not out of the picture yet. They're not out of the free-to-air television or pay-per-view. It's not out of the picture. It's not out of the picture. You know, before anyone invests into anything new, that's got to be proven, tested, and it's got to convince everybody that this is the way forward. According to Adam Smith, Carnan Brook did north of 500,000 pay-per-view buys.
It was north of 500,000, so we're very pleased about that. Excellent business for us. Obviously, the box office buys take time to come in, but yeah, I mean, I've heard all sorts of different rumours out there, but we're very pleased with it. It was definitively north of 500,000, and that's excellent. To add that to, in a different sort of light, to add that to the Sky Sports figures, which were 1 million for Eubank and 900,000 for Taylor Cattrall. We're very, very pleased with our February. It goes to show that we are the leading platform for sport in this country.
Yeah, Sky are the top boys. Sky are the top boys in the UK. They're the top boys. But you know, all of the people saying, look, Sky are going to kill Eddie and shut down his business. And then, you know, next week, Eddie will make a move with CANELO or something else. Oh, Eddie's going to kill it. No one's killing nobody. Frank's not killing no one. Eddie's not killing no one. Sky's not killing no one. Right? It's a very competitive market. And as a boxing fan, let's try and stop perpetuating a killing war. You know, like I've always said that boxing, the market of boxing is very unpredictable. The instability is something you can't account for. I'm going to buy Dillian versus Fury. Good on Frank. I hope he sells a whole load of pay-per-views. I hope Dillian gets his 3 million bonus when he knocks out Fury. It's all good. Michael Benson sources, he reckons it sold 85,000 in the first 3 hours. That's excellent. Excellent. You know what the sad thing is? I believe some of you won't buy a Frank Warren pay-per-view because you love Eddie. And vice versa. Some of you won't buy an Eddie pay-per-view because you love Frank Warren. And the whole thought of giving either of them your money is killing you. Where I've been buying Frank Warren pay-per-views from the 90s. Can you say the same? I'm a vet, bruh. I'm a vet. I was buying pay-per-views from when they started in this country. I'm a vet. Go where the best fights are and is doing the best for your pocket. I'm buying Dillian and Tyson Fury. I don't care if Frank Warren profits off it or Bob Arum. I want to see the fight. I bought Khan and Brook. I bought ITV pay-per-views. I bought pay-per-views from everywhere. People talking about the Whyte and Fury tickets. Oh, they're just people or bots buying to sell them at a higher price. A lot of resales and... who really cares? Who really cares? You know what I mean? Let the event be the event. Let it be a big event. We don't know what's happening with the AJ USYK fight, so he doesn't have a dance partner. And look, AJ's done how many stadium fights? People want to see something different in a stadium fight. So it's Fury and Dillian's turn now. I don't have no problem with that. You guys have the problem with all this shit here. Jealous of AJ's numbers, jealous of Eddie Hearn's success. I don't have no problem with the success. I just don't like the bullshit. You know? Dillian should just accept this and didn't say nothing. You need to turn up the press conference and be a good boy. And no, I'm not with all that. I'm not with all that. But I'll be purchasing the pay-per-view. It's not a problem. But there is a truth behind it all, though. Fury is selling this number of tickets because he was able to beat Wilder, yes. But because Dillian has become an attraction as well. Dillian and AJ rejuvenated heavyweight boxing. They did. They rejuvenated British boxing. That's a fact. 100% fact. Then AJ Klitschko, 100% the facts. There weren't no pay-per-views worth buying between the Carl Froch Groves fight and the Dillian AJ fight. They regenerated the market big time. It doesn't matter that they started it. Everyone's played a part. Wilder's played his part. Eddie's played his part. Bob Arum, Tyson Fury, AJ, Frank, they've all played a part. Dillian, I'm not here to say, oh, it's not going to sell. Fury and Whyte ain't gonna, no, it's going to sell. Like Tyson's last pay-per-view over here done 545,000 against Klitschko. It's going to do way more than that. They could at least project 1 million pay-per-view buys. And if they get north of that or south of that, that's excellent. The question is, will it beat the 1,532,000 that AJ and Klitschko did? Will it beat that? I am not Eddie Hearn's worker. Both Frank and Eddie are going to make millions or whatever they're going to make working with Canelo or working with Tyson Fury at Wembley with Dillian. They're making millions. All the people saying, oh, Dillian should be grateful, he should just accept this and that. No, I don't agree with that because Dillian played a part with rejuvenating this division. He played a major part in it. Now, you don't have to agree, but this is my take. So it's Fury's first fight in the UK for 4 years. And all of a sudden, he's doing it for England and St. George. I didn't realise April the 23rd was St. George's Day. I'm not going to accuse the man of being racist because it's too easy to do that. People should learn how to construct their points before going for the blanket statement because of a lack of vernacular or proof of something. And now he wants to be this English guy doing it for England when previously he said stuff like what? I'm not going to fight in England again. They've had their chance. They've treated me bad. America treat me like a superstar. He accused Barry McGuigan of being a traitor because he went from the Irish title to the British title, saying he's portraying his Irish roots, basically. But Fury himself fought for the British title. He said he's Irish. He's the first Irish champion. He said when he goes out there and fights, he represents Ireland. But yesterday it was all about England and St. George. I believe he is an opportunist and a bit of a manipulator. Obviously, his opponent is a black Jamaican man with a British passport, and Jamaica is part of the Commonwealth. Is he trying to rally the lads behind him, like, you know? I know he was very popular with the EDL and Tommy Robinson, and he definitely was. When he started talking about AJ on the Black Lives Matter march, he became very popular with that sect. And then after, when it came to the Ukraine war, yeah, sign me up. Sign me up. very patriotic all of a sudden, when previously it's been, Britain don't respect me and my gypsy roots. Let's hope it doesn't go down that road because it's tacky, but I wouldn't put it past him. I think the question about the Ukraine and Russian conflict was a bit stage managed between him and Gareth Davis. I do believe it was. You saw how they started cheering when he said that. Dylan needs to turn up at the next press conference, I believe. I think, one protest boycott is good, but we want to see Dylan in the build-up to the fight. We want to see him. I want to see Dylan. Tyson Fury is just going to be Tyson Fury, I'll leave that there. I mean, I'm not being funny, and his dad just cut a weird figure. I'm turning my back on you when he was talking to Carl Frampton, because Frampton picked Jake Paul to beat Tommy Fury. And he's mad as anything. How can you pick against a Fury? I have time for you. I have no time for you. I got to turn my back on you. And then Tommy, I've got no time for Carl Frampton. He's picking an American over a fella Irishman. You're picking an American over a fella Irishman. He sounded like an idiot as well. I mean, isn't that a little too tribalistic? It's different saying I think he's going to win than saying I'm going to support somebody. It's two different things. Frampton is trying to keep his integrity and pick who he thinks is going to win. This had nothing to do with who he supports. Tommy and his dad acting like total nut jobs. I mean, look at this shit here. ARUM confirms Fury Whyte will be available through all pay-per-view platforms in the US, not just ESPN+. It's a shame he didn't do that for Terence Crawford. Look what he's saying. Many boxing enthusiasts in the US were dissatisfied with the most recent ESPN top-ranked pay-per-view event, Terence Crawford versus Sean Porter, because they could only buy it through ESPN+. Crawford and Porter was priced at $69.99, but in effect it was priced at $76.98 because at least 1 month commitment to ESPN Plus was required, which is $6.99, to purchase the 4-fight show headlined by Crawford and Porter on November the 20th. And Crawford obviously complained about the buy rate being negatively impacted by restricting the event to ESPN Plus, rather than making it available to all cable and satellite customers in the US. Anyway, I mean, I don't know what to draw from it. What am I going to say? Bob sabotaged his own pay-per-view with Crawford. I'd hate to believe he did that, but it just seems Crawford always gets shafted and Tyson gets the 5-star treatment. Terence is better off without Bob. That's all I can say. He'll be better off without Bob. We lost money on every event with Terence. With a promotion like that, what the fuck would you expect? Dummy? Alexander Usyk has indicated that the Anthony Joshua rematch is in doubt after signing up to defend his country. He says he doesn't know when he's going to be stepping back in the ring. His country and his pride are more important to him than a belt. So we've got to start looking for a new opponent for Anthony Joshua. You know what somebody told me yesterday? And this is why, there's no way I would accept being called a fanboy by anybody. This is why. I said Joe Joyce would be a great opponent for AJ. Yeah? Maybe it could be for the vacant WBO belt. Is he number one at another sanctioning body? I'm not sure. You know what somebody replied to me and said? Oh, you think inactivity's bad? AJ fighting somebody as strong and relentless as Joe Joyce will be a disaster for him. He's going to get beaten. And I'm thinking, are you the same people calling me a fanboy? I'm asking AJ to fight the top opposition. Every video you see me make, there's you saying, well, inactivity's bad. AJ shouldn't fight at all. So what is it he should do exactly? You people are weird. I like fighters who fight top-notch opposition. I don't care if you lose. I really couldn't care less. I like guys who fight top-notch opposition. I don't want to hear these young cats who are fanboys talking about the eye test. No. It doesn't interest me. The only eye test I'm interested in is my one, right? The eye test these days is just for you young cats who, when you're a fighter who you're a fanboy of, when their resumes are put into question, oh, well, what about the eye test? When you're fighting bums, there is no eye test. Old school, right? No soft touches. Let's get Joyce or Deontay Wilder. Mike Tyson was saying, yo, Wilder should fight AJ. Well, with USYK preoccupied with some serious shit, let's go. And it has to happen in the UK. That's where stadium fights are done with heavyweights, right? It has to happen in the UK. The Canelo fan club is getting a little too much, yeah? They were disparaging Mayweather. So I said, yeah, well, you're saying Canelo's beat more black fighters than Mayweather. So all I said back was, well, he didn't beat Mayweather. And they got mad as hell. They got really mad. All ganged up on me. And then one of them randomly started picking on Andre Ward. Andre's career is just that, beating only Euro boxers. Do you have anything to say about that? So obviously when he said that, he was trying to disparage his resume, saying European boxers are inadequate. Andre Ward's got an inadequate resume. So I reply back and say 7 of Canelo's last 10 opponents have been Euro bums. Bivol will be number 8. After that, Triple G again. Maybe you guys should read BoxRec more. So, you know, he's fought the likes of Yildirim, Callum Smith, Sergei Kovalev, Rocky Fielding, Golovkin, Liam Smith and Amir Khan. 7 of his last 10 opponents, European. So that counters his argument. But everybody focused on me saying Euro bums, when it's obvious all I was doing is countering what he said about European fighters. And now it's, oh, you think Bivol's a Euro bum, you're a casual, little thumbs in him up. And when I caught him out on his game, you said, oh yeah, well, they both fought European boxers. So I said, fuck you, you bitch. I caught you out on what you was trying to do. And I proved to you that whatever you're accusing Ward of, Canelo was doing the same thing. And now you're trying to change it, saying, oh, well, they both fought European boxers. What are Ward's best wins? So I said, screw you. But you know when people are reading a conversation, but they're just reading it one-sided? Because basically, they came to defend the guy. They didn't come to read the debate objectively. I can't stand them, man. But they won't affect how I watch Canelo. They won't affect that. They're not important to me. They're really not important. And if they come over here and say, oh, you're triggered. No, you irritate me. You irritate me. Your lack of boxing knowledge and your worship for Canelo, I find irritating. Your irrationality is irritating. If you come in here and I hear anything that is slightly irritating to me from any Canelo fan, you're gone for good. Blocked out. Now, I do agree with Canelo about CHARLO and BENAVIDEZ. Why not fight each other? I'm busy. Now, I can't argue with that. One bit. That's what I've been advocating all this time. And Canelo's right, yes. Everyone wants to fight me. They have many options too, like fighting each other. Why don't they fight each other? They need it. This year I'm busy. And look, if CHARLO is prepared to fight Canelo at 168 for the pension fund, you can fight David Benavidez for a very good purse at the PBC. David Benavidez for his toys out the Prem. Oh, Canelo. You guys need to take your focus off Canelo and get on with your job and put some entertaining fights on for the fans. Stop hiding behind the PBC fans who are exactly what I was talking about earlier. More concerned about promotional and network politics than boxing. And if they can't get Canelo on the network, they will just tolerate Benavidez and CHARLO fighting the lamest opposition that they can find. And then scream that all the top fighters are ducking them when you're doing in-house garbage. And it's not acceptable. You don't deserve the fight. You don't deserve it, in all truth. And look, they don't even have to fight each other. Just fight someone decent. Fight someone decent. And I don't understand the PBC fan logic. You're critiquing Canelo's resume, but if either David or Jamal fought Bivol at 175, you'd be going over the top about them stepping up, facing stellar competition. That's what you'd be doing. So I don't understand that. I don't understand that at all. A walking contradiction. I want to big up Cliff Road from Boxing Scene. He makes some very good points. We saw Bam Rodriguez put in an excellent performance against Carlos Cuadras the other week. And now he's the emerging new kid on the block at Superfly. Carlos is 33 now, he's getting on. Bam, he's a kid. He's 22, he's a kid. It's generally a young man's game. And with Gonzalez being 34 and Julio Cesar Martinez being 27, this is a tough fight. And like they're pointing out, like Gonzalez could have taken a softer touch and waited for the big money fight. Instead, he's taken on a very dangerous WBC flyweight champion. He was ranked the #1 flyweight by TBRB. That's transnational. And the Ring. Biggest chance of his career. And he's going to give it everything he's got. This is not going to be an easy fight. There's no way it's going to be an easy fight. Last week we saw Fernando Martinez take the IBF strap in the same weight class from Jerwin and Kayas, although they're the same age. So the landscape is changing and shifting at 115. And Gonzalez has to be on his game. It's a good fight. Thank you, DAZN. I'm picking Gonzalez to win though. A tough fought decision. Could be a split. Looking forward to it. One of the best matchups of the year so far. Obviously, going under the radar because they're lower weight. A lot of boxing fans are going to miss this, but if they knew what a lot of us knew, this would be a great fight for them to watch. But it's kind of like our little secret.